A wish for wings that work. If you were a penguin and you had wings, and they all do, but they can't fly. And this particularly frustrated our friend Opus. And this is another book by the fabulous Berkeley. The way he uses words is very exciting. So let's find out about A Wish for Wings That Work. Blue looks like the sky above the penguin when he's out there wishing he could fly. And then it starts out with a quote from T.E. Lawrence, means Lawrence of Arabia, who says, "All men dream, but not equally." So it means some people have more imagination than others, like you. A bird with wings that won't work, Opus growled to himself. What good is that? What good am I? I might as well have been born a snail or a slice of Melba toast. One day, during lunch, he climbed up the statue in the park and offered to share his last pickle with the pigeons, but they just rolled their eyeballs around and moved away. "It is not our pleasure," they sniffed, "to share pickles with birds whose wings do not work." And there he is, and there's the pigeons, and he's trying to share, and they don't care, they're mean. "If my wings will not lift me, I'll find something else that does," thought Opus. He heard a man screaming on TV about a new product everyone should own called a flap-o-matic. Opus quickly ordered one. When it arrived, he put it together and hoped everything was right since the instructions were in a different language. Opus carried it up to Vulture Gorge, strapped it on, and wound up the rubber band. Stepping to the edge, Opus looked down to the bottom 3 miles below. Yow, he gulped. He sighed. He walked back home and spent the rest of the day cooking anchovy Christmas cookies, which wasn't nearly as dangerous. You want to see the contraption? There it is. I think he was smart not to test it when it was a 3-mile down drop. Right? And then Opus knew what he should do. That night, he sat in front of his warm fireplace, considered his words carefully, and wrote an important letter. "Dear Santa Claus, in the past, I have asked for a scarf that would last. I have wished for new skates or some herring rum cakes. But since my wings sputter, at those times they should flutter, I thought you should know I need wings that will go." And there he is, writing the letter to Santa Claus. And up here is a picture, up above his fireplace, is a picture of Amelia Earhart, the first woman pilot. Aviator, I think they called it. After mailing his Christmas wish, Opus congratulated himself that a penguin could be so clever, and he immediately went up to Duck's Breath Ridge to practice some takeoffs. "Santa Claus will be bringing me new wings," announced Opus to a passing snow duck. "I shall be flying on Christmas morning." And look at his little contraption. He's even got an ironing board. He's practicing how to do it. Fun to practice takeoffs. Christmas Eve soon arrived, and after leaving a note of welcome to Santa Claus in the fireplace, the penguin whose wings would not work tucked himself into bed. He burrowed down deep in his thick quilt, curled his knees up to his chin, scratched his nose one last time, and as a flock of snow ducks drifted silently across the full Christmas moon, closed his eyes. "Fly," Opus whispered to himself just before falling asleep. "I'll be flying on Christmas morning." And then he was snoring. I want to see him taking a little nap down here, and you see Santa Claus and the reindeer going across the full moon. No, they're not. Those are birds. I have a great imagination. They're birds. Oh, but he does have the sign in the fireplace that says, "Welcome, Santa." Look, there, above the hills, above the clouds, a soft glow growing brighter, closer. What is it? It was much too early for the sun. Maybe it was a duck with a flashlight. Listen, sleigh bells ringing. Ducks don't wear sleigh bells. Why, it was him, of course. And with the thunder of hooves, Father Christmas himself burst through the midnight clouds. And there they are. And the duck's like, what? And burst through. On over the countryside, Santa's sleigh swooped and glided and zoomed and, wait, there was a bump, a little thump. Probably just some bumpy air, or maybe not. Something was not right. A small piece of the harness had broken away. The reindeer flew on, but Santa's sleigh plummeted like a meteor toward the lake. It snapped, and the reindeers are gone, and he's plummeting Santa toward the lake. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, and you can see, yeah, right here is where it broke. Oh, Santa. Hello, wake up, emergency, a voice hollered. Who's jumping about on my bed? Asked Opus, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. A snow duck was holding a light over Opus and looking very upset. Catastrophe, calamity, the duck hollered. A considerable setback. Please follow me. Opus sighed and guessed that the milkman had slipped and gotten his head stuck in the porch railing again. He crawled out of bed and stumbled outside behind his midnight intruder. And there's the duck saying, "Get out of bed, come on." And he's like, oh, did the milkman slip and get his head caught in the railing again? There, said the snow ducks, and they pointed toward the dark lake. They lifted the little penguin so he could see better. Opus could just make out something, a lantern out on the water, a big man with a white beard standing atop a sleigh that was teetering, rocking, and sinking. Opus gasped in horror. And there's Santa on the lake, teetering, rocking, starting to sink. Down the snowy bank, Opus scampered, a flash of black and white as he hit the water. With a roar, a shimmering curtain of spray erupted behind the rushing missile. It held in the air for the longest seconds, catching the moonlight before falling. Toad frogs leaped, catfish jumped, and Opus flew strong and fast through the icy water, a wonderful, roaring, graceful torpedo sailing through the darkness. He was swimming and swimming. After all, that is what penguins do best. Look at him. He jumps in, and he's flying towards Santa. Makes that huge splash. There, whispered a snow duck from the water's edge. Look there, he said, pointing now, for something was moving toward him. It was Opus, and he was pulling that great Christmas sled and all the toys through the freezing water with the reins in his teeth. There was a great sloshing and frothing and laughing. Somebody was laughing. Out from the sleigh, a deep voice of good cheer drifted in over the water. Ho, 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 it rumbled faintly. Ho, 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 go! And there he is, pulling Santa out of the lake. and saving all the toys and saving Santa. Opus stumbled, exhausted, onto the dock. His arms ached, and it hurt to breathe. He noticed many eyes watching him, and he tried his best to straighten his soggy red bow tie. He had brought the sleigh safely to shore. The reindeer were waiting there patiently. The large man in the red suit approached, grasped his hand, and shook it gently. Santa's wide pink face came down close, and his whiskers brushed Opus's ear. Opus noticed his kind eyes, one of which winked softly. "I see no penguins here," Santa whispered, "whose wings only sputter. Tonight it was courage that flew yours beyond others." Let's listen to that again. "I see no penguins here," Santa whispered, "whose wings only sputter. Tonight it was courage that flew yours beyond others." He whirled, and with a snap of a whip and a hearty laugh, he and the sleigh sailed up toward the stars. There's Santa thanking him and congratulating him. And I guess the reindeers realized they better go back. They lost something important, like the whole sleigh. Opus awoke Christmas morning and stumbled sleepily to the door. But he found something besides the morning paper outside. He rubbed his eyes in disbelief. There on his front porch and spreading out across his lawn and down the street were hundreds, maybe even thousands of smiling snow ducks. And each and every one wore a little bright red bow tie. Two of the ducks took hold of his arms and led him outside, where, slowly at first and then faster, they all began running and flapping their wings. "What's going on?" said Opus. But he already knew, for his feet weren't on the ground anymore. Over the street and above the houses, those ducks carried Opus until they were way, way above Duck's Breath Ridge. Down below, people looked up, for they could hear a voice somewhere above the clouds. It was a penguin whose wings didn't work, laughing because he surely was flying on Christmas morning, just like he had wanted to. And there he is with the snow ducks, maybe thousands of snow ducks, making sure he could have his wish and fly on Christmas morning. The end. Thank you for listening. I love these books. Thank you, Jonathan. See you next time.